Hey, what's up guys? It is Rob from Movie Review Time, and I'm back with another movie review. This is a recommendation by a nice guy named Edward. I think that's how you say it. Here on YouTube. Very nice guy. Wanted to know my thoughts on the 2014 horror film It Follows. Wanted me to do a review of it. It Follows. Very, very good movie. Definitely one of my favorites of 2014. Basically a supernatural horror film about a entity that kills you or tries to kill you when you have sex with somebody, or like a sexual encounter. It's a very weird idea, but it kind of has that Ring feel to it. The Ring. Because, you know, when you watch the videotape and, you know, Samara, you know, you'll get the call on the telephone saying 7 days, and then she comes for you on the 7th day, pretty much. You know, in this movie, after you have sex, then all of a sudden this person will start to follow you no matter where you go. And it could be, you know, a girl, it could be a guy, it could be a short guy, a tall guy, it could be anything. And that's how it tricks you. It this entity changes its appearance to kind of throw you off. So it could be someone who you actually know, but it's not really them. I think that's kind of cool. It's very simple. It's a very... There's not much to it, to the plot, really. But it follows a teenage girl named Jay. I don't remember who played Micah Monroe. Jamie Hyde is her name, but they call her Jay. You know, she's basically had sex with this guy, and now this person is following her. And at first it's a girl. And there's many different types of people. Like there's a girl who's naked, there's just a girl, there's an old woman in pajamas, there's a girl in the kitchen, there's a giant man, which was one of my favorites. There's so many different types of people that start to follow her, but the point is it's the same kind of entity that keeps following her no matter where she goes, no matter how fast she runs. That thing will just keep following her. And that thing may follow her, you know, it may take a long time for it to get there, but it still will not stop. And I find that terrifying. Knowing that something's coming for you, but you don't know how far away it is, or what time it's going to be here, or, you know, I just, if you think about it like that, it's terrifying. You know, behind my house there is a cemetery and there's a creek, like scary forest down there. I just have this like really, you know, I have this big fear that if this was somehow real, like I'd just be sitting here and I can just imagine that thing just walking through the forest right now, wanting to come here. And then making its way across the cemetery, and then across the fence, and then up to my back door, and walking up the stairs. Like, that is truly terrifying. That's crazy. And this thing will kill you. But I think it's cool not knowing what it is. They were going to plan a sequel to this movie to discuss well, they were discussing it, but they were going to actually discover the origins of this entity, or it, as they like to call it. And I don't think they need to do that. I think it's much scarier not knowing what this thing is. I mean, they know a little bit. They know it comes for you when you have sex, and you can pass it on, just like the Ring. You can pass it on. If you watch the videotape, you make a copy, and then have someone else watch it, that will bring it off of you and go to them. It's the same thing with this. If you have sex and this entity is coming after you, all you have to do is have sex with somebody else and it will pass to that person. What's cool about this too, though, is like in the beginning, after she has sex with this guy can still see this entity, which is odd. He can still see this entity, but the entity is not coming after him. But I think the rule is if it kills, if it would have killed her, then it would have came after him. So you have to like keep passing it on, and you're never really safe, because what if all these people die? Then it just keeps going. You can't really stop it. It was directed by David Robert Mitchell. And another thing, Disaster Piece did the music. This has fantastic music. It reminded me of an old 80s horror movie flick that, has that 80s vibe to it, the music especially. I love the music. When the thing is walking after you and it's like it has a doom 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 doom, like this really cool tone, and it's really cool. It makes the scene more intense. The cinematography to this movie is mind-blowing. I love the faraway shots and the still shots and the very smooth pans that they do. And like you'll be sitting there focusing on this person, but then in the background you'll see something coming like really slow. Really slow. One of my favorite parts is when she's in school and she sees this, in the distance she sees this old person walking towards her. No one else is, but this person's walking, this old person, and she starts walking through the halls and this person keeps following her in the halls. Like that was one of my favorite scenes. And then there's the tall man when they're in the bedroom and there's a knock at the door. It's her friend, but when she opens the door there's this tall person standing behind her and he just goes right through her. There's some really cool scenes in this movie. They did a good job keeping you on your toes for the scares, at least. It was just creepy. It wasn't like cheap jump scares or anything like that, like you're used to in some of these modern day horror films, but it's very subtle creepiness. And like I said, you imagine this thing coming after you. Like you put yourself in Jay's shoes. What would you do? Where would you go to escape this thing? What would be your plan to try to hide? I mean, I guess you could hide, but does that mean this thing would lose you? It always finds you. It just seems like it's always there. Like if you were to get in your car and drive state to state to state, that thing would probably still follow you. It would just, who knows how long it would take. And I think that's worse. I think it's worse not knowing when that thing is going to be there, because it would catch you off guard. I think it's better knowing where it is and how far away it is. It's terrifying. It's terrifying to think about that. It just is. That's a really, really cool concept. They get, they get 2 thumbs up for me for that. That's just a really cool thing. Hence the title, It Follows. This had a $2 million budget, and it made $23 million at the box office. And kind of like Get Out and A Quiet Place, it received really it received a lot of positive reviews, and it got hyped for a while there. And it was one of the better horror films I've seen in a while. It does kind of take, I guess there are a couple movies that it does kind of take inspiration, like The Entity from 1982, which features an invisible thing, and Forbidden Planet from 1956, which I haven't seen. The science fiction film that features an invisible assailant that is referenced, and yeah, it is referenced here. But yeah, it does take inspiration, but it still feels original. I mean, the whole sex thing, You know, it's a weird concept, but it's original in its own way. Right there, you can see in the car they're about ready to do it. But I think the good cinematography, the acting, the cool music, all that together makes this a really creepy experience. It really does. I didn't get to see this in the movie theaters, which I wonder how that experience would have been. But it didn't matter because I enjoyed it. I really did. And like I said, they were going to do a sequel. I'm not really sure what if that's even still planned or if they're still going to talk about doing it. But it received critical acclaim. It says it holds a 97% approval on rating on Rotten Tomatoes. 8.1 out of 10. Good movie. Definitely one of my favorites from 2014 for sure. And I was trying to think of some of the other people. There's Paul, there's Greg, and there's Jeff. Yara Davis. I can't remember some of these people's names. Annie Marshall. Yeah. But I just like the concept. I really like the concept. It was very, very good. It says right here, the best horror movie in over a decade. I would say one of the best. I would say one of the best, for sure. There's nothing else like it, really. There really isn't. So, very good movie. Just like all my other movie reviews, I always give it a rating out of 10. I would give this movie a solid 9 out of 10, for sure. It gets a 9 for me. So, yeah, that's my thoughts, basically, on the movie. Definitely keeps you on your toes, like I said. It keeps you interested. You want more. It's intense in a lot of situations, and you know, the characters, I guess you could say there's some throwaway characters, but the main girl, you do care for her. You do care to see where she's going to end up and how she's going to escape this thing, because you do feel bad. Like I said, you try to put yourself in her shoes. Where would you go? What would you do? How would you handle this? I just like that. I really like that a lot. So that's my review for It Follows. Like I said, definitely check out Edward. Edward down in the description. I'll put the link down there for his channel. Definitely check him out. Very nice guy. Does a lot of top 10 videos and stuff like that. But yeah, he wanted to know my thoughts on this movie. So there you go, Edward. And if you have any recommendations for me, definitely leave them in the comments if there's something you want me to review or talk about, or if you got a list video that you want me to do. In general, let me know. I'll have to see the movie first, though. I know Edward wanted me to review Escape Plan 2. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't have it, so I'm not really sure when I'm going to be able to see that or even review it. So that might have to be put on the back burner for a while. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you want me to review a certain film. I'll be happy to do so if I've seen it. So thank you very much for subscribing, for sticking with me, for taking the time out of your day to watch. I really do appreciate it. Those of you, thanks for the kind words and stuff that you say on my videos. I just think, thank you every day for watching and discussing movies with me. It's just a passion and something I really love to do. If I didn't have that, I don't really know what I would be doing, what I'd be doing with myself. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. This is Rob signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Are you following me? Now I'm scared. I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight. It's 11 p.m. right now. Now all I'm thinking is, I got this image in my brain right now that there's somebody in the street walking really slow up to my house. And then I see Freddy standing there, and I'm thinking he's following me now. I gotta put him in the closet. There's no way I can just sit here and go to sleep and wake up to that after reviewing this movie. No, I can't do that. I'm scared.